What's going on, guys? It's Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, ProWrestlingAuthority.com with your recap of UFC Fight Night 95 Brasilia, Brazil. And what a crazy night it was. Cyborg going 2 rounds with Lena Lansberg. Or I should really say that the other way. Lena Lansberg going 2 rounds with Chris Cyborg. And if you guys listen to the Pure Evil MMA podcast, this is exactly what I called out. Not only was Cyborg being more patient, but Lansberg really had that game plan with that clinch, but she just could not get any elbows in. She really couldn't do any damage on Chris Cyborg, but we really have to give her a round of applause, though. We have never seen anyone go 2 rounds with Chris Cyborg in the UFC so far. Gina Carano almost did, but that was ended in the last little second of that fight. So congratulations with Lansberg. She did a great job tonight. That's Chris Cyborg that she was just making her UFC debut, and both girls are having such a great time. I'm going to be discussing that fight, breaking it down for everybody in a second. If you are a new listener, make sure you guys subscribe down below. I have announcements to make. We had some winners on the UFC Pick'em game, so congratulations to all the new winners. I'm going to be announcing your names on the Pure Evil MMA podcast on Apple iTunes, so make sure you guys subscribe to that. Just search Pure Evil MMA on Apple iTunes, and we will be updated every single week with new episodes. I'm giving fight breakdowns, winning. A whole bunch of my winners can win things, so make sure you guys check that out. If you don't have Apple and you have a Droid, no problem. You guys can look podbean.com, and also if you don't want any of that, you're not a podcast fan, youtube.com. Right here on this page every Wednesday night, I go live with Ted Check and of course my weekly MMA webisodes. So let's review tonight. It was absolutely crazy. So many fights to talk about, especially starting the card off tonight on the prelims. Stephen Ray, I know he was a big favorite tonight, going against Patrick. And he went all 3 rounds. Ray didn't really get to execute his game plan here. He didn't really get to shine. He ended up losing that fight. Then going into the prelims on FS1, Eric Silva had his back up against the wall, because we remember the last fight. It was the same night that Holly Holm fought and versus Miesha Tate, and Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz. He was kind of playing it cocky in there, kind of like trying to make him throw down, and it really backfired. He ended up getting knocked out and looking like an absolute fool. So he came into this fight against Chagas, and a lot of people really sided with Chagas here because of Eric Silva's tactics in that last fight, not being professional and getting caught for it. I had faith in Eric Silva here. I knew that he's a veteran fighter. He knew what he had to do here. He was in a tough spot, and he bit down and went in for the kill. So Eric Silva defeating Chagas via submission in 3rd round via rear naked choke. Congratulations to him. And of course, they're going to be doing the UFC post-fight press right after this. So of course, I try to get my recap in right before the bald man speaks, so to say. Following that, Formiga defeating Ortiz via decision. And honestly here, I had Formiga here, but Ortiz was a lot better than I thought he was going to be. And then after that, Tanaka. This was a tough fight for me to pick. Yaha defeating Tanaka via decision here, but this fight could have went either way. I went with Yaha winning here. I thought that he was going to have the ground game to take it, and we saw just a crazy grappling match between the two. So congratulations to Yaha. Moving on, we'll skip a couple ahead, going right to the main card, because I know that's what you guys want to talk about. Pepe, congratulations to Pepe with that 1st round submission. Might get fight of the night honors there, 50K check. But then again, fight following that, Eric Spicely with a huge win against a huge opponent versus Santos. He absolutely lost it in there. We watched Spicely on the season Ultimate Fighter season 23 last season with Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Claudia Gadala. Not really one of my favorites. I got to speak with somebody that fought him locally here, and I was just never really that big of a fan of Eric Spicely, but he did a great job against Thiago Santos, who is number 15 in that division. So that's a huge win for him. He had a lot of pressure. He was actually afraid that he was going to get cut tonight if he lost, and I don't blame him. A lot of people say it is harder to stay in the UFC than it is to actually to make it there. So congratulations to Eric Spicely. That could easily be Fight of the Night honors as well. Let me know what you guys think in the chat room. I'll be checking that out in a second. following that fight, our boy Paul Felder taking a brutal cut over his, I think it was his left eye. Maybe there's right, but it absolutely ripped open his entire eyebrow. That actually called the fight off. And Paul, such a warrior, he was like, let's just go. Like, I'm ready to throw down. But thank God to the ref stopping that fight, honestly. As much as I wanted to see Paul go in there. And very close fight. Let me talk about that. Going into it, right off the bat, they were both feeling each other out. Paul trying to throw some spinning stuff, but Trinaldo just getting out of the way of it. Both fighters exchanging back and forth. Felder found himself up against the cage, and they just kept rolling. And it was literally going back and forth. Some people said on Twitter that they had Trinaldo in the first, but a good majority of you guys had Felder winning that first round. Going into the second, though, Trinaldo started opening up a little more. Got Paul back on the ground and was able to open that cut right back up and immediately just started pouring down Paul's eye. The ref had to call it and stop it, so Trinaldo wins via TKO, ref stoppage, making him 7-fight win streak. And I got to speak with Paul before the fights. Any of my new listeners out there that didn't know that, you can check the interview out down below. His father in the hospital with pancreatic cancer. He was going in there and he promised us one thing, and he delivered it, guys. And I got to thank him for that. He said, I can promise you guys one thing. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to throw down with that son of a bitch. And that's exactly what you did, Paul Felder. Congratulations, man. You didn't lose any brownie points in anyone's book. That was one of the most exciting fights tonight. Tyrone Woodley even calling it out as one of the fight of the nights to watch. So, Paul, I know that you're very upset. You worked really hard to get to this point. You did a great job tonight, brother, and everyone is looking forward to your next fight. Trinaldo, with his post-fight press speech as well, always thinking about other people, never talking about himself. There is no ego there with that guy. Trinaldo saying that he's trying to open up a gym for the underprivileged. Growing up in Brazil, not really having money, he didn't start training until he was 24 years old in MMA, which when he said that, I was like, wow. And he asked, anyone out there if any donations or anything that you can do to help with this. It will be absolutely free for the kids to come learn. We're blessed here in America. As much as people want to focus on little things that really don't matter, that they get so upset about and throw fits and tantrums over, there's real poverty out there, guys. There's people who literally don't even have sink water, literally don't even have bathtubs, nothing. I know people in America, too, that literally shovel their own shit out of their toilet. And I literally talk to these people every day. But you know what? There's a lot of people out there that just can't afford this stuff. So if you have it, why not give it? Don't be greedy. Give it to the needy. Like Notorious B.I.G. will tell you right there. Don't be greedy. Give it to the needy. All right, moving on to that fight. Congratulations to Trinaldo. If you guys have want to share that information, I'm sure he'll be putting up that link. Roy Nelson versus Bigfoot Silva. None of you guys thought it was going to go past that first round. However, I had to stop you guys and say, you know what? Silva, in his last couple of fights, getting knocked out in the very first round, I think he's going to play it a little more safe here. He's not going to feel free and let loose with the exchange right off the bat in that first round. Same thing with Roy Nelson coming off that fight with Derek Lewis, where he took some heavy shots. And we're not calling out Roy Nelson's chin at all, saying that he was trying to play it safe here or anything like that, because we all know that Roy Nelson has a legendary chin. We're not saying that. I'm saying that during the podcast, I was giving you guys a heads up for all my bettors out there that this fight was most likely going to end in the second, not the first round, and that's exactly what we saw happen tonight. Roy Nelson able to get the knockout over Bigfoot, landing a nice connection, dropping Bigfoot, and the fight wasn't called off then. He didn't do a Mark Hunt and just walked away like he literally could have right there. That was the same thing as the Mark Hunt versus Frank Mir fight not too long ago. He could have walked away. He didn't. He went in there. He knew he had to finish it unless the ref was going to call it off. So he went in there, laid a couple more heavy shots on Bigfoot, and he said it after. He didn't want to do it. And he actually kicked Big John McCarthy in the butt for not calling that fight off sooner. So what do you guys think? Did Big John McCarthy wait to the perfect minute, or could that fight have been called off one or two punches before? I've never seen anyone actually kick a ref in the butt, but Roy Nelson managed to do it. And, of course, he gets on the ring and does his nice little belly thing tonight. Classic Roy Nelson. Love seeing that guy win in there. We remember him from his knockout over Brendan Schaub in that season Ultimate Fighter. One of the best seasons Ultimate Fighter with Kimbo Slice on that season, Matt Mitrione on that season, Schaub on that season. Huge, huge people on that season. Rampage Jackson still wanting to fight titties. So congratulations, Roy Nelson, one of the most underpaid stars in the UFC. So I hope he wins something tonight. A lot of contenders tonight, guys. In the runnings for Fight of the Night. I want to hear what you guys have to say. So make sure you guys let us know using hashtag PureEvilMMA. Shout out to the Pure Evil Army out there. Crazy night of fights. I want to know who gets Fight of the Night for you guys. Because for me, honestly, Cyborg did a great job tonight. I do not think that she gets the Fight of the Night here, though. Who gets Fight of the Night? Does Cyborg deserve it? I mean, tell me if I'm being cruel there, but I think Roy Nelson is definitely in the running there. You know, she's definitely in the running, though. She's a huge star, brought a lot of the energy tonight. I know a lot of people get mad at me if I say she doesn't deserve it. She definitely deserves it. Shout out to Lena Lansberg. We're going to get into that in a second. Renan Barão versus Philip Nover. Can we give a round of applause to Philip Nover? Did anyone really expect him to go all 3 rounds with the former champion? Renan Barão moving up a weight class, looking a lot better, but can we all really say that? We're used to him going in there and finishing dudes, not really going to decision, finishing by submission or knockout. Not really the Renan Barão we're used to, but he gets the win tonight. But Nover going all 3 rounds with him looked great, finding some confidence later in the 3rd round. But that 1st round, very close. 2nd round could have went either way. Barão finishing the 2nd round on top. Going into the 3rd, though, Nover picking up the confidence he really needed in his corner. Them telling you, like, you're here. You're in the 3rd round. It's all or nothing here. You got to pour it out. But you can tell he's going to learn a lot here. This is his 2nd time signed with the UFC. I got to speak with him on Cage Side Submissions 2 weeks ago about this fight. You know, he had a lot on his shoulders here as well, coming off season 8 of Ultimate Fighter. Doing great. Dana White even saying that season that Philip Nover was expected to be the next GSP. A lot of people giving him a hard time because he fainted that season. There's that amazing video of him getting rid of the cauliflower ear with the needle. I got to speak with him about that. But he looked calm, relaxed in there. He executed a great game plan with Renan Barão. Barão not really able to land much of his specialty shots here. Nover, great connections, a lot of 1-2s. Barão coming out with the win, though. So congratulations to Renan Barão. I want to know what you guys think is next for Renan Barão. I'm not really interested about that. I'm interested in seeing the Frankie Edgar versus Jeremy Stephens fight. Jeremy Stephens just beat Renan Barão in a huge fight of the night. Not too long back. I think that was like a month ago. So I'm interested in that fight. That fight, of course, was announced for UFC 205. That is going to be absolutely fire right here in the East Coast, New York City. So let me know what you guys think about that. All right, main event time, guys. Finally, get down to the nitty gritty here. Boy, do we have to give Lena Lansberg credit. I gotta tell you guys. Lena Lansberg was a huge underdog here. No one even gave her the time of day. Didn't even care to look at any of her videos. Didn't care. They were just surprised somebody was going in there to fight Cyborg. 6% of the people on UFC.com picked Lena Lansberg. And I was kind of upset about that. I went as far as saying on the Pure Evil MMA podcast, no one's giving Lena Lansberg credit. She's a Muay Thai champion, great kickboxer, very confident. She goes in there, she has fun, smile on her face. We saw that tonight. Like I predicted, guys, she was going to make it in the 2nd round. Everyone thought I was crazy for saying that. I didn't want to give this fight to Lena Lansberg because I knew that Cyborg's one hell of an opponent. No one can really get past of her, at least Lena Lansberg in my eyes. But I did think Lena Lansberg had a game plan and was going to be able to teach Chris Cyborg something in this fight. That was going to make Chris Cyborg a better fighter. And that's exactly what happened. Went into the 2nd round, just like I called it. Cyborg found herself in a little trouble, maybe, getting tied up. Even though Lena wasn't able to land any shots at all, he was able to really hold her down. But Cyborg landed vicious ground and pound on her and ends the fight, busting her nose wide open. Congratulations, Chris Cyborg. But Lena Lansberg definitely coming out one of my favorites tonight. So after this fight night is over, who do you guys think wins fight of the night? Let me know using hashtag Pure Evil MMA. Make sure you guys give me a follow on Twitter at evil_echo. Give me a like on Facebook. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, ProWrestling30.com. I'm out, guys.